What's up, y'all? We are here for podcast number 7. According to our sign over here.
Yes.
Brought to you by Ernie Ball Everlast Coated Strings. The string of champions.
The string of champions.
Yes.
The Wheaties of strings.
We're going to, no strings attached.
Oh, God.
We're going to actually give away some strings to
I should hope
some of the people
after
watching
all of that.
this podcast. Yes.
That's
so,
good.
courtesy of Ernie Ball and the Paulcast. Yes. So, man, you were gone last week.
I was.
I missed you.
I missed you
Sorta.
too.
And,
Okay, we'll be that
that's
way
good.
then.
And you went to the beach, is that correct?
I did. I went to the beach. I went to Hilton Head Island.
All right. And for those of you who are just tuning in, I'm Paul. It's my casting of this casted him. There's a lot of casting going on.
I
Have you
casted
ever seen the
myself.
movie Ever seen the movie Cast Away with Tom Hanks?
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm reminding myself of that
my
right now.
video producer extraordinaire.
That is me.
And of course, as always, we want to thank the DM or Dylan Matheny, as he is known. Yes, for
yes.
you can send him DMs.
I
I guess
thought
if
you were going
wanted
to say
to.
PBS for
He is
viewers
on
like you.
our movable camera that we just added to the production
Indeed.
studio here.
We
Move
got a
around
whole
a little
jib.
bit for us, and yes, so we got those sorts of things going on as well. So you were at Hilton Head.
I was.
What was the social distancing like?
It was actually pretty crazy. They have a law to where you're literally not allowed to go in any public building without a mask, which I guess is coming around to just about everywhere at this point. Yeah. But we kind of went right as that happened, and we got there, and it was like, okay, you bike everywhere, like
Right.
literally bicycle everywhere. So I would just be like trying to go to the gas station, you know.
Did you have to wear the mask while you were biking?
No.
Or on the beach?
No.
So
not on the
basically,
beach.
anywhere you wanted to really be while in Hilton Head,
You
you
were
didn't have
okay.
to wear a mask.
Yeah.
All right, I understand.
But say you had to go to the grocery store.
Right.
You're already on a bicycle.
Yes.
What happens when you forget your mask?
Now,
You have to go all the way back.
you could fashion one of the plastic bags out of a mask, but that would be dangerous,
So I
potentially.
actually ended up doing this a couple of times
Yeah.
and just being like, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, it was not so good.
Well,
But the trip was fun.
I'm glad you made it back. You don't
Me
look
too.
nearly as burned as you did the last week.
And yet, I had a much worse burn. I actually got full-on, like, sun poisoning.
Sun poisoning.
Yes.
That makes you very... I've had that once.
It's terrible.
It was worse than the Taco Bell food poisoning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically, I got, like, welts and just was, like, peeling the whole time I was gone. But
Sounds fantastic.
hey, if you do enough aloe vera, you can recover from anything.
Gotcha.
I kind of feel like a reptile that's, like, molted at this
A
point.
red reptile.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So you got the little braid going in your
I
hair.
do.
Kind of looks
I got
like
real islandy.
Mr. T, but
Okay.
sort of not, maybe.
Okay.
At first I thought maybe it was hanging from your ear or something, but
I mean,
I don't know.
I do pity the fool,
Yeah.
but
Oh, there you went. That was right up there with my strings, you know. No strings
yeah,
attached.
you know.
And you got a haircut as well.
I did.
So you cut some of that off. That's
did,
fantastic.
yeah.
It's that kind of 80s triangle vibe going on.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's sort of like a man bob, but
Yep.
I dig it. I dig it.
Well, we got a lot to talk about on this Paulcast here
We do.
today, and I'm going to talk about what's been happening and what some of the future is going to be happening with live music, streaming music, some of the things I'm
What?
going to be doing with
Crazy.
that as well. It is crazy. I actually got to be on Bobby Bones this week.
What is that
And
like the?
oh jeez, this is when your video guy really only pays attention to what's behind the.
No, it's
Bobby
funny,
Bones
actually.
show. Bobby Bones is
in Hilton
the number
Head,
one.
I heard the Bobby Bones show.
Country music DJ in all of country
I
music.
I know.
He also was on Dancing with the Stars and won it.
Wow.
And so anyway, he also
You
is
can
the
tell
host,
I'm impressed.
a host of the Opry on TV, which is something cool that the Opry's done during COVID.
Yeah, for like
That's
60-year-olds.
That's one way they have had, again, this guy. They have been doing the Opry on TV. We haven't gotten a chance
The
to
grand
do that
old
yet.
one?
The grand old. There's no
Old.
D, actually.
Right.
It's an old
Sorry.
Opry.
What is the difference?
But yeah. So Bobby Bones has been hosting that as well. So anyway, we went into the studio.
Glad Mr. Bones has work.
Bones is working. Now, I will say his producer.
Yes.
I certainly don't hope. I hope this doesn't happen to my producer, being you.
No.
My video producer. His video producer, actually his show producer.
Yes.
Is Eddie, producer Eddie. That's how he is known.
Yes.
He got COVID. And so we were a little bit
that's terrible.
nervous to go into the studio and perform. And the deal is everybody there, kind of like us right now, we're a good 6 feet apart. And if you don't believe us, you can measure our pool table and our camera and all that. But
it'd take a lot of work.
They're kind of stationed out there, but when you're on a mic, you can't wear a mask.
Yeah.
So we normally go in there and hug everybody on the show and high five and do all that sort of stuff.
Friendly like.
It was really sterile and weird, and you could tell they missed it. It was like this invisible line between us that we all knew that we just couldn't get past, and it was like a mime thing almost. We were like, I see you.
That sucks.
And we couldn't do any of that, so we kind of just went in, said hey, and they have a new set that they've had for the last couple months or whatever, and so we were performing on that, and it just felt weird not to be
a little stale.
Close to the people that you're normally close to in a studio radio type environment, and yet it also was really cool at the same time to be back in the saddle again, so to speak.
I bet.
To be on live radio and do some of those things and talk about what's going on. We were there trying to promote Low Cash's push for #1 with their current single, One Big Country Song.
Oh boy, yes.
They're at the recording of this podcast, as of today, they're I believe #5, anywhere from 3 to 5.
So it is slowly becoming a big country song.
It is becoming a big country song. It is. Hopefully, it will be a #1 one big country song.
Oh gosh.
We'll see what you liked that, didn't you?
I did.
So, but anyway, so we had a good time in there, and it was, if nothing else, it was a sense of getting back to some reality of entertainment, doing its thing. So, but one of the things that we wanted to do that was a little different, and for us, is we wanted to have a special guest on the Paulcast.
Now that's not so different. We have had that.
This is true. We have had guests. This guest is a little different in that I do know him pretty well.
You do. And because when he wandered in, I was a little concerned. Yeah, he looked a little lost, maybe like wrong studio, something like that.
Yeah. But he found the place okay.
He his PR manager was a nightmare, though. I'll tell you.
Well, yeah, you got to watch out for those sometimes. Yeah. And so he's an analyst of a couple different things. One of the things that he is an analyst of happens to be YouTube channels.
Yes. And not only YouTube channels, but this one specifically.
So he's analyzed our channel. He spends a great deal of time analyzing big YouTubers like Random, Ninja, and some others. So he's pretty much a pro at that. Totally. He knows what makes their
I mean, when you're on that level, you can't help but be a pro.
So he knows what makes their channels and their podcasts work really well. Yeah. He also started in football analysis as well. Before
really just a multifaceted guy.
Yeah. And so he is analyzed football teams as well, and we're going to talk about my shirt here, why it looks a little different here tonight with him as well.
I thought it looked a little strange.
Yeah, but I'll save that for him. So if y'all could welcome to the microphone, Mr. Dillon's going to help us out. Y'all welcome Mr. Rowan Scott to the Paulcast.
There he is.
Here he is right here. You're going to go over and take Red's microphone here. You'll just kind of look over here at me.
Good evening.
And just speak nice and loud into it, and we're going to talk about a couple things. So I understand you're a fan of the show, right? Okay, very cool. And you were talking to me when we were having a conversation earlier this week about some tips that we could have on the channel here. What are some things that you've picked up from being a professional analyzer of channels like Random? What does Random do that maybe we should do on our show?
So he plays
talk right into that mic.
He plays various of games. He plays Fortnite and Valorant and and Minecraft.
Okay.
He started a Minecraft series. He's been playing Fortnite since day one.
Wow. What does he tell his listeners? What does he tell them to do?
Like and subscribe in the next 4.25 seconds and 4.25 seconds, or you'll have bad luck for 59 years.
Oh my! Do people actually do that? Do they get scared and they like hit the like button and subscribe and all that stuff?
Well, Ethan gets 235,000 likes on some
Holy
videos.
smokes! Well, somebody's listening to him. So, does he ever use any codes or anything?
Well, the one code is dumb.
Dumb?
Code dumb.
Code dumb? What's that mean? Where do you use that?
In the Fortnite item shop.
Fortnite item shop. So don't be dumb, use code dumb. Is that what he says?
Don't be dumb, use code dumb in the Fortnite item shop. And before he gets into his end of his videos, he says, like, comment, yeet, subscribe.
Yeet. So we need to add yeet. Make a note. We need to add yeet to our like, comment, subscribe. I messed it up already. Like, comment, subscribe, yeet.
No,
Is that how it goes?
Like, subscribe.
Yeet.
Wait. Like, subscribe. I forget it, but I think that.
As long as those words are all in there, that's what we need to do. All right. So apparently we have not been asking you guys to like, subscribe, yeet, and hit the notifications bell and all that good stuff. And we're going to, Duchess, our friendly neighborhood cat, decided to knock over our pineapple light. And that's okay, too. Well, we're going to take you up on some of those opinions. So what do you like most about the Paulcasts?
They're cringy.
They're cringy. Okay. What parts of them make you feel cringy?
Well,
Is that a good word? I'm not sure I know what that means.
cringy means there's a lot of fails, kind of.
Okay. Meaning
And
like
none
our game of pool,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Here, let me show you what cringy looks like. Here you go.
Can I try that?
Yeah. Let's see. I want to see if you're any better than me. Oh, wait a minute. We've got a stick that might be a little bit more your size here. Yeah.
I haven't played this game. I have not played this game in forever.
All right, here you go.
Never.
Oh, he did it. Your shot.
That shot looked just like something your dad would do. Who's your dad? This guy right here. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is my son. And so we had an opportunity. Or tell me one more thing you like about the Paulcast, a good thing.
Well,
That's what I thought. So nothing. He's mostly just cringy to a 9-year-old, right?
yes, technically.
But you actually watch all the episodes,
Yes.
don't you?
And some of them I'm kind of disappointed. They have 5,000. They come down to 59
So-
like the Paulcast 6.
Right. And so that's where you watch our analytics and you actually report to us, hey, you got so many views, and you'll tell us how it's doing, right, as it goes.
Yeah, so like the Bones had 22 or 21 or 22,000.
Yeah.
Like a couple days later it has 17 because like I think YouTube takes the views.
Well, they're
and,
analyzing them, and then
Yeah.
they bring them right back after it gets a little weird sometimes. But that's okay. So, or it might go the other way. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So you tell us as the numbers are going up. If anything gets weird, you let us know about that. So we appreciate you, keeping the numbers real for us out here in YouTube land. But the other thing is, I noticed your hat, and you noticed. Did you notice my shirt today?
yeah.
So
a
on the-
disappointment in Redskin history.
Right. So we were talking about the Washington now football team as they have decided to call themselves.
The legacy has been destroyed.
Well, we're going to work on it. Hopefully we're going to fix it. You had a few good suggestions too, which I talked about last week. So yeah, what did you think when you saw this name come out, the Washington football team?
I was shocked because they couldn't think of a nice creative name that hasn't been in the league or other sports, like
Right.
the Red Wolves.
Right. So that would have been your choice, right? Yeah. And so tell us where you got that hat. I know you still have, that's an original. Where'd you get that? Who gave you that hat?
So we're at the NFL draft. It was the red carpet, and Mr. Paul Scott over here noticed a Hall of Famer, Brian Mitchell, and he was wearing this hat, and he decided to give it to me.
Yeah, that's right. So we were at the Nashville draft, had a great time there. It was probably one of the best things that I've seen Nashville host, and we got some really great treatment, and were able to be on the floor and get the ball signed. And Brian Mitchell gave you that hat, and that kind of made you. They were called the Redskins at that point. You were a Redskin fan for at least a little bit, right? Because of Brian Mitchell doing that, and of course, he knows that I've been a Redskin fan for a really long time. So we're excited about this next stage. We don't know what they're going to be called. Maybe it's the Red Wolves. Maybe it's the Washington football team.
Well,
let's not keep that for too long.
After I do some rhyming,
Yeah?
so I thought, like, their legacy's dead, so we could have the Deadskins.
The Deadskins. Very nice.
But I don't think they're going to go with that name.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go with that name either. We'll have to ask producer Red what he thinks when he gets back here in a minute. But so if it came down to the Red Wolves, the Red Tails, and I don't know, and
Deadskins?
the Deadskins. Well, there's a question. Do you think they should go back to the Redskins? Do you think that if they don't come up with a better name, should they go back to that name?
Well, people thought it as a derogatory name, but the Indians called themselves that, but it's not affecting anybody else. So they should, I guess.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of people are sensitive to that, and you seem to have a very interesting understanding for a 9-year-old, and considering all different sides and viewpoints on all of that. Is there anything else that you would like to comment on about either the Redskins or the Washington football team or the Paulcast? Have you enjoyed being here today?
Yes.
Do you think you'd like to start a podcast of your own someday?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, thank you, Rowan, for being on the show here with us today, and we'll see you again here real soon.
Well, let me make one more shot.
Oh, one more shot? Go for it.
There's no way I can hit it. Oh, wait.
Nice. Go. Well, fortunately, you're a great guest. Unfortunately, you play pool about as well as your dad at this moment.
So terrible.
But we're gonna get Dylan to teach you some lessons here, and we'll get you.
Appreciate it.
We'll get you all set up for the next time. Thank you so much for being our guest. Woo! And we'll see you again next time. Hey, everybody, get up for Rowan Scott in the studio.
Very nice.
Well, I believe it's your shot first.
Great.
I was.
Am I anything?
I was wondering where you went for a minute. I was a little concerned that you just decided to give
I
over
had to
the
refill
whole.
on my seltzer.
Okay, there you go. All right. Well, let's see what you got here on a shot.
Anybody made anything?
No.
All right. Open table.
There's been 4 shots, and nobody's hit anything. Oh, except that was a scratch. That was a nice scratch. So I'll let you.
Very pretty.
I'll let you go. Recover those balls. You can take the one out that you got in and the cue ball for me. That'd be great.
Are you gonna let me?
I'm gonna let you do that. That's part of the game here that we have. I don't think you saw Duchess came in and knocked over our pineapple earlier. Did you see that? Yeah, I was impressed. I like how you gave me the cue ball just out of reach so that I.
You're welcome. I'm not gonna make it easy on you.
Actually, you did. That stripe that you had in,
yes,
you put it right in front of the pocket.
That's because that's where it was.
Oh, when you make a scratch, I think that you can put it in the center of the table.
I don't care. You just beat me. It's fine. I don't know.
You're assuming I can get the ball from here to there.
That's true. You have a habit of making it jump off the table entirely. Oh. Very nice.
Oh, I've been taking lessons, y'all.
It's a shame his lessons aren't paying off.
We're just going to do this and see what happens.
Oh, boy.
All right. So next topic. We got to get on to the show here and talk about a couple things. So I have been asked by a few different people to possibly do some streaming shows.
What?
And we've had our hands full with doing some for a few different companies out there that have actually requested. Sir. It's kind of been neat. RV wholesalers. We haven't talked about them a whole lot on the podcast yet, but they had a really unique concept.
They did.
And that was, we need to do a trade show, because most trade shows that have been canceled.
Yeah, totally.
We're talking most meeting places, they're asking people to stay
can't
in
even
groups
go
of
inside,
10,
really,
right?
yeah.
So much less a trade show where there's typically anywhere from 50 to 80,000 people walking around at any given time. And plus, how do you get people inside and in and out of RVs and all of that? So what they did,
you don't.
You don't. You virtually do. I have an itch, and I'm trying to really scratch that.
Ladies and gentlemen,
hope you guys enjoyed that. I tried to do it discreetly, a couple different ways.
Didn't work.
It just wasn't working.
No.
It's still there.
Sometimes you just gotta own the nose scratch.
I just wanted to own the nose scratch because we have a cat, and I think that's why.
That's it.
Well, I don't have a cat. You have a cat.
I have a cat.
Yeah.
This is why you don't have a cat.
Very true. So,
so
anyway, their concept was, if we have a host that walks through these RVs, and after we've shown a couple RVs, we're going to have live music. The crazy thing is, even with Low Cash, we've played with Dustin Lynch and some others at some major conventions, whether it's been hunting, Bass Pro, O'Reilly's, which that one was huge, and the one that we did with Dustin Lynch, it was an outdoor show, but they used a convention center that had an arena of like 12,000 people, and they just brought everybody in different cycles for the shows and stuff. So these are full-on shows that these major companies are used to putting on each year,
right?
And they pay well too. They take care of everybody really well,
yeah.
And so it's kind of cool. You get to be part of doing an arena show,
right?
But then you also are part of a convention at the same time. And during the day, you get to walk around and look at all the cool hunting and fishing stuff, or cars, or whatever the thing may be. And so the RV wholesalers sort of brought that feel and vibe to the internet,
right? And
then instead of having stages, they hired a few of us, me and Lester Estelle, who plays for Kelly Clarkson, and Jeffrey Scott, who plays for David Cook, and Mike Ball, who also plays for David Cook, and the four of us in our individual studios. If you haven't seen the videos, some of them are online. We kind of posted them real early on the channel, so they're a little bit lower down with less views.
Dig for them.
You have to dig for those. But we did 3 trade shows for them, and you did all the video work of putting all the streaming together, and we were in 4 different locations, and it was quite a task to get that to do.
Yes,
so,
it was.
And so it was fun doing that. So through that, I had a few people say, "Hey, would you mind doing an acoustic set,
right,
for some of the music that I do? It'll be covers, originals, that sort of thing." And so we're putting together the technology to be able to do that in a little bit different way,
sir.
Where we can kind of take the camera work that we've got here and employ it into a live stream type thing. Different set, obviously, but using this 3 camera setup and try and make it look like what might mimic a live event, as opposed to just the checkerboard sort of look that a lot of the streams
the 4
are.
squares.
So, yeah, exactly. Brady Bunch feel. I'm
lots of Brady Bunch.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to doing that. What is maybe one of the favorite things that you've seen, either in film or in music, that people have done during this COVID time with streaming?
There's been a lot of different stuff. I mean, even as far as like DJs found a way to like make it still happen. Like a lot of DJs are doing only live streams. Like there's this whole thing I follow. It's like a collective of different like DJs, and they decided to have their yearly festival totally online this year. So I mean, everyone's kind of
they
making
usually
it work.
have so much with lighting. Like the whole visual aspect
It's
of what
huge.
DJs do is like a huge part. Are they doing that as well for the online portion?
Kind of.
Kind
I mean,
of?
the lights are still there. It's just shot on a GoPro, so it looks like a GoPro.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So it's just basically.
Hey, I like GoPros. I own one.
We know.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It's looking at my face right
Look
now.
at that.
Yes. So, thank you GoPro for all you've done for me.
Which has not been much for me.
Hey, well, that's all right. So
I lost a GoPro in a lake one
I
time.
think that's why you're still mad at GoPro.
It might be.
But that's not really their fault.
I mean, the thing is small.
You also lost your skin in a lake recently.
Yeah, right.
So lakes maybe you need to stay away from the lakes and the water.
It might be the
portion.
lake. Yeah.
It might be the lake in general. Well, cool. Yeah, in Nashville, some of the DJs, and what I want to tell some people about Nashville right now, COVID, man, we had just gotten to stage 4, which was pretty much everything open, just wear a mask.
Yeah.
Man, people did not want to wear a mask. And I don't care what your views are on whether you think a mask works or doesn't wear a mask.
The masks. Just wear a mask.
If you'll just sort of go along with it, I know constitutionally you might think differently and whatever, and that's cool if you do.
I
have
don't
nothing
care.
against that. But like,
wear a mask.
We were almost ready to work just if people would wear a mask.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. And then the numbers spiked, and now we're back all the way. We got kicked. You know what it felt like? You know what game that was a lot of fun as a kid and get to play with my kids now? No. Chutes and Ladders. You ever played that?
Oh, yes.
Or no, I'm sorry, Candyland. I got it messed up.
Honestly, both are similar in that
I
way.
probably don't even know the difference. I think as a fat kid growing up, I really,
enjoyed
Candyland a lot more. So maybe that's why I thought it was that. But but in Candyland, you would get these cards that would take you all the way up to like the giant awesome candy near the top, like you're gonna win the game. Then you'd pick up another card, and then all of a sudden you're all the way back down to the popsicle that nobody really likes.
No one likes the popsicles.
Yeah, and so
throwaway candy.
That's where Nashville is. We had gotten our candy card, and then we just got the popsicle card.
Yep.
And so now we're back to phase 2, mandatory masks, all this other stuff, and it kind of stinks. And
it does. Because you know what? We could have avoided it had you people worn masks.
Yeah. So, and not even whether you believe in them or not, just kind of if you'd help follow the rules, it could have worked. But anyway,
rules are rules for a reason.
Well, as musicians and filmmakers, following rules has not really been something that we always do the best of sometimes.
Our strong suits,
but that's one that we were willing to do
there's a
just
time
to be
and a
able to get back
place.
to work. So yeah. But anyway, this wasn't a whole thing about masks as much as it is just
we want to work.
Yeah,
that's really what it is.
We would like to work. We would like to serve our fans and our public.
Yeah.
And we simply can't get back to it until because basically all the bars are shut down again. And what they were doing is they were allowing acoustic shows and even full band shows and being able to stream those shows.
Right.
And we were starting to get people to be in there to actually make it feel like
a show.
You're performing it to someone.
Yeah.
And for people who are on the other side, who are lovers of music, but maybe not performers of music,
right,
and are fans, as much as you enjoy watching it, that's how much we enjoy having fans there.
Yes.
One of the hardest things to do with any of this streaming is to not have the feedback.
Nope, you have a wall on the other side.
And it's been really funny to watch. I mentioned earlier the Opry doing their shows online, and I'm talking superstars: Keith Urban, Kelsey Ballerini, Carrie Underwood. All of the most popular people, Vince Gill. They've all been doing this, and I can even tell. We've had the pleasure to play the Opry many times, and with a lot of them on the bill, and the energy that they have and the back and forth between the crowd and themselves is magical there. The Opry's magic is lost
Online,
right now.
yeah.
And that's not a cut on the Opry. I feel like the Opry would agree with me.
Yeah.
It is a different place.
The building has some soul to it.
It does, and it thrives off of I'm going to use a big word here, synergy between the audience and the performers. And there is no performer who ever sought out to go be a performer and not have an audience.
Yep, that's true.
And it's not because a lot of times that's thought of for ego purposes.
But it's really
not. There's an energy that comes toward the stage that then allows you to push it back out to the stage. And it is a communication and a sharing of energy that happens that we're missing half the equation of what live performance really is. And I just want to make that clear because I don't know if fans know how important for them to get the experience that they want. I don't know if they understand how important they are to their own to getting the kind of experience that they want to receive back. And they are easily 50% of the equation.
I agree.
And that's the hardest thing. And as much as it's good that there's live streaming options and all that, I'm really looking forward to getting back to the live performance part of that, not only for myself, but so that music can feel synergetic again.
Right.
And so that the fans can get what they want, you know?
Not that it has to be in person for this to be the case, but there is something like on a philosophical level about how you really can't call something art unless it is viewed. That appreciation by an audience is kind of what makes it art by definition. So to not have that immediate reaction, especially for an art form like music, it's really difficult. For me, it's a little bit easier, I guess, because I'm used to people looking at a final product that I've spent a lot of time on. But for the musician side of me, it's like, oh my gosh, there is no satisfaction really from it. It's just I'm putting it out there, and these are numbers, you know. It's like a graph that I get to be happy about, you know.
Silence is one of the loudest pieces of music.
Yeah.
And it's really important, and you can go back to any classical music, the loudest rock music that there is. If there's not a break in the music, being a rest, measures of rest, all of those sorts of things, if there's not
dynamics,
silence,
as my papa would say.
That's right. If there's not the opportunity for silence, there's not the opportunity for music to have its impact. The odd part of that is the audience and the crowd are a shared part of that silence working or not working.
It's the response to the in-between of the
call
silence.
And response. And that's the thing, you know, live music is very much a conversation.
Yes.
And we're having a conversation about a conversation.
We are.
Really. And
some real meta stuff right there, my boy.
And if you were to go to therapy sessions, which I think we've both been to therapy sessions.
Yes, we have both.
There's absolutely nothing wrong, and everyone should go to therapy sessions.
Yes.
But so
did your analyst tell you that?
What's that?
Did your analyst tell you?
My analyst, but
Thank you, Mr. Woody Allen.
But so when your music is therapy,
yes,
and part of that therapy is having that communication line.
Yeah.
So even the therapy of music is in a crazy place right now with all of this. COVID has done a lot of harm, but it's done a lot of good.
I agree.
In a lot of ways. It's probably the most reflective that this country's ever been.
Honestly, that the world has ever been in our
and that sort of thing. And hopefully we're going to come out. We'll come out on the better, stronger side of all of this, and the opportunities that have happened from it are going to be great. Indeed. Well, hey, we got to wrap this thing up here, but before I do, I need to get back to our string giveaway.
Whoop, whoop.
The Ernie Ball Everlast Coated Acoustic String.
Yes, sir.
This particular one, I like the full phosphor bronze. By the way, when I do giveaways, I'm not just giving away stuff that I get. This is all stuff that I use.
Yes.
And there's a reason why I use certain things. So I talked about playing on the radio. Mm-hmm. And a lot of what we'll do to promote a song, a single on the radio, is to go go play in the studio. So when you do a radio tour, typically you're flying all over the country, or fly to bus to play, back and forth, and
all around the world.
Strings can get corroded from your hand sweat,
very easily.
Temperature change, all that sort of thing. So
especially with what you guys do.
Yeah, so I need my strings to, and then if we have a show, like a full band show in between, and I've also used that same guitar, like I physically sometimes do not have chances to change my string as often as I would like to. So I do often put on a coated string.
Right.
And a lot of the
for long lasting and durability.
That's right. But the coated strings keep a feel there.
Yeah.
They also keep a durability. These are also full phosphor bronze. They're not an 80-20 mix. Kind of the difference between using Supreme gasoline versus unleaded. Yes, you can run your car on both. But anyway, I like the brightness of the full phosphor bronze with a coated string, so it doesn't get dulled out. So these are awesome strings. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Why don't you give them a sampling, my friend?
Are those the same ones?
They are.
I don't know if that's in tune, but
you tuned it before the show, don't you remember?
Oh yeah, it was tuned to the fact. By the disclaimer, I do not endorse Epiphone guitars. This is
my guitar.
I always cut my strings. I gave a pack of these to Red. Red can play a few chords and
a few chords. Thanks.
I don't know. Some of them are in tune every now and then. No, he plays acoustic guitar. He plays other guitars too, and he actually is a good bass player.
Thanks, guys.
So I gave him these strings. I was like, you got to check these out. You haven't changed strings in about 4 years on your acoustic.
That is true.
And I usually help you out with your string changes.
It's because I'm not that good at it.
And by the way, just look at these. Also, anybody who knows anything about guitar, that sounds great already. This normally, when you tune this way, the sound goes up. Oh, wait a minute. Dylan is behind a camera right now, who's a fantastic guitar player.
Yes.
And you're going to see him with me on these acoustic live streams coming up soon.
Currently, if the camera's shaking, it's from his laughter.
He died laughing, trying not to fall over on the other camera that he's operating because the strings are being tuned the wrong way. Yeah, so that's usually the result. So we're not gonna judge this guitar on the strings. The strings are actually nice and bright and vibrant.
They are.
We're going to blame it on Red's guitar setup, that it's an Epiphone, and that they haven't been cut and they're strung the wrong way. But, so the good news is,
it's disheveled.
if they can sound, God, that's the heaviest guitar I've ever picked up in my life. But if they can sound at least resonant, we'll call it that.
I think so.
Imagine if they were in tune and on your guitar.
What an endorsement.
Sometimes it's not great playing they need to hear. You need to hear the opposite, right? To go,
thanks, buddy.
I can actually make that sound good. So we're going to give you these strings. Take another shot while I talk about this. Win this game. We've yet another round of... We barely played any pool on this one. That's okay. But we're gonna give these away. And to whoever comments below anything, you can literally comment below anything.
Please comment.
But the winner is going to whoever can comment below by telling me which show I was just on this week in a studio for.
And if they watch the whole podcast,
and because he didn't know who they were anyway. So if you watch the podcast, you'll figure it out. Go, and thanks to our analyst. You want to come back up here one more time and just wave to the camera. And thanks to our analyst over here for coming in. He's fantastic. I kind of love him. And he did a great job. And would you just get us out of here by telling people to...
Left me hanging.
Like and subscribe in the next 5 seconds or you'll have bad luck for the next 69 years.
You better do it. Paulcast out.